welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about tips to help you study throughout the semester. I am a UC Berkeley student, so I study a lot. I have been doing pretty well considering that we're in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah, I thought I'd just share some tips that help me, and hopefully these tips can help you, just give you a little bit of study motivation, some study inspo. Before we get started, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and also follow me on my socials. I do post there. I have like a whole list of basically tips, so I'm just gonna look at them so that I don't get anything mixed up and so that I am on track and I don't ramble. My first tip is to basically try not to study in your room if you can. Obviously with the pandemic and everybody being at home, you know, we kind of have no choice, but if you can control it, it would be nice to try not to study in your room because your bed's there, you know, you get all cozy, you get tired, you want to take a nap. So, you know, studying in your room sometimes is not the best idea, but if you absolutely have to do it, then try to use some of the other study strategies that I have laid out for you. Places I like to study in cafes, libraries. Obviously they're all closed now. If you like have a table in your house but there's a lot of people in your house, maybe you could just like blast your music and study on the table and just tell everybody like, hey, don't bother me, I'm studying right now. So yeah, and then that goes on to my second tip, and my second tip is basically to play lo-fi music with no words. So lo-fi music literally changed my life. Lo-fi music is basically just like very calm, like hip-hop or like R&B type like songs, and they have like raindrops and they have like a lot of like ASMR sounds, and they're just like really nice to vibe out to, and you can really get in the zone. So if you have not listened to any lo-fi music, I highly recommend that you check it out because lo-fi music is amazing. It honestly keeps me so focused. Like I just get laser focused when you're listening to songs that you really like. Sometimes you want to sing along to them. Sometimes you're paying attention so much to the song that you forget what you're reading or you forget what you're doing. I know it's happened to me plenty of times. So just try to get yourself a nice lo-fi playlist, or just listen to like raindrops or like ASMR sounds, things like that, because it'll definitely keep you on track. If you like video games, use video game music. A lot of the time video game music doesn't have words, so you can easily listen to a video game soundtrack that you really like, and it'll just put you in the mood. It'll help you focus. It'll literally just keep your mind kind of occupied, but also... Yes, Hannah?
I want to do that too.
Do what?
This.
No, you can't. I'm filming right now. So I would recommend video game music if you're into video games. If you're not, then listen to freaking lo-fi, listen to raindrops, listen to ASMR sounds, listen to something that just kind of makes you feel like either relaxed or something that makes you feel really pumped up. My third tip is to basically take breaks and reward yourself with something. So basically, when you're studying, you should try to shoot for, if you are in college, you should try studying for at least 5 to 20 hours a week, depending on your course load. Maybe even more if you have a very heavy course load or you have like classes that you're not doing so well in. But try to study like 5 to 8 hours a day, or the days that you are studying, stack those hours. So try to take mini breaks in between, and then like reward yourself with something, like, oh, you'll watch a YouTube video, or like you'll go get some coffee, or you'll give yourself some ice cream or something like that, just to basically keep you on track, because like those little breaks are definitely important. You don't want to just like cram all in once and then like your brain hurts and then you don't want to do it again because you're like, why would I want to put myself through that again? So just try to take those breaks so that you're not pushing yourself too hard, and like I said, reward yourself for it so that you'll feel like, okay, cool, if I can keep doing this, I can keep getting my reward, that kind of thing. This tip really helped me. So I went paperless last summer, and it was honestly a really great decision, because when you have too many papers, it's honestly, or too many books, it's just so stressful and annoying to carry everything around. Like you're lugging these huge textbooks around, you're lugging heavy papers around, you lose things, and it's just a mess. I would recommend that you go paperless. So download your books if you can. If you can download your books, that's a great way to basically stay on track, because you can electronically like highlight things, and you can import your documents, you can write them up, you can mark them up, you can erase super easily, you can change the colors. Everything you want to do basically online or digitally you can do. So I would really recommend going paperless and investing in electronic books, electronic studying, because it's, for me, it just feels better. I just feel like I can get more done. I have everything all in one place. It's not like everywhere. Another tip that I have about electronics, so that you don't confuse yourself, is that if you have one class, make like a folder in your notes app or whatever app that you're using, and only use one document for your entire class. So basically your class, by the end of your semester, you'll have like 100 or more pages of notes. But the reason I say to keep it all on like one document, just keep adding pages to that document, and obviously title your dates, is because when you make hecka different like slides or hecka different folders for your classes, you lose them easier. So like if you're making a whole new doc for every single class, like that's gonna be kind of hard to sort through. When you're sharing your notes with your friends, they have everything, they have all the access to basically the entire course. You have all the access to the entire course. You can basically see the flow of the course because you have everything on one document. It's just so much easier for me, and I found that it's very helpful for other people as well. I was a note taker at UC Berkeley, so I do take pretty good notes. I think this is just kind of like what I did and like how I helped other people. Make notes of key dates. So something that's really important is to make sure that you know when things are due. So if you have a quiz on Friday, make sure you write down you have a quiz on Friday. Don't just leave it up to your mind, because your mind will deceive you and you obviously will forget that you have something due on Friday. Write down important dates. Throw sticky notes on your freaking wall. Put reminders on your phone. Throw it in your calendar. Whatever you gotta do, make sure you know those dates. Asking for help is so essential, especially in college. There are things that your teacher is gonna test you on that they didn't teach and they just expect you to know from the book. So it's really important that you're going to these office hours so that you can ask your teacher any questions. Now everything's on Zoom, so like it should be a little bit easier to have access to your teacher. You don't have to necessarily be there in person. So, you know, try to go to your teacher's office hours. They're very helpful, I promise. Write down all your questions before you go to office hours so that you're not confused and like a deer in headlights when you go. You have all your questions ready and you could just ask them. And if you have like a TA, a teacher's assistant, ask them. If you're too nervous to ask your professor, ask your TA for some help and advice, because maybe they're a little easier to approach than your professor. So just make sure that you're getting the help you need. Make sure you're understanding the percentage of your class. So your syllabus will outline, okay, your participation is 15%, your quizzes are 20%. If you can calculate those percentages, you'll know, okay, hey, if I miss this many classes, I'm gonna get certain points docked off my grade, but I could still pass if I do this. Or, okay, if I skip this quiz, I will lose a little points here, but I can make it up with attendance. I can make it up with this. I can make it up with that assignment, so I am okay. If you're doing the math for your percentages in your class, it'll make you feel like you have a lot more power to basically control what you want to do or not. Like if you're doing a really difficult unit or something and you're just not interested, you're bored, you don't get it, and there's a quiz on it and you just don't feel like doing it, you wanna focus on other classes, then I would just recommend, you know, skipping it if you have good grades in other areas. Obviously some things are super mandatory and like you'll fail if you don't take those. Don't do that. In this case, don't use that tip. But if it's just something like a quiz or a discussion post and you can miss a certain amount, or you can you've been doing really good but then in the end you kind of want to just like slack off a bit, but you know you're fine either way because you already calculated your percentages and you know what you can and can't do, that just helps you so much and takes the weight off your shoulders because you already did the math. You know what you need to do, you know what percentage you're gonna be at if you don't do an assignment, so that you're not like confused by the end if you're like, oh my god, I missed I missed 5 assignments and I wish I would have known because now I'm failing and I can't bring my grade back up. Like, you don't want to be in that situation. So just calculate percentages for all of your assignments and for everything that they're basically testing you on, because it gives you that control to decide what's worth doing and what's not worth doing if you obviously don't have time or you just don't feel like doing it. Honestly, like, if you really don't feel like doing it, that's fine, but make sure that you calculate your percentages. So kind of like gauge it. 8 is to color code. So based on important terms and topics for the week, color code. So if you're doing a lesson 1 for week 1, do it blue. If you're doing a week 2 lesson 2, color it red. If you're doing 3, do green. Make sure you're color coding it so you know. Color coding is so important just for that visual retention. You'll have that like visual memory. It'll kind of help you organize your thoughts a little bit. It'll also help you organize your notes. If you're not really big on color, try to incorporate a little bit of color. I promise you it'll help. When you just have a whole bunch of writing on the screen, you'll definitely get confused about what's important and what's not important. So make sure that you are highlighting or using colors because you want to color code. Well, the hardest part is honestly starting the studying, because even if you study like 30 minutes a day, at least you're studying. At least you got something. But if you never start studying, you're never gonna study. So just make sure you're starting. Just make that push. Set your timer. Okay, at 5 o'clock, I need to study. At 7 o'clock, I need to study. Set those timers. Just start it. And once you get in the groove, I promise, sometimes you might not even want to stop because you're like, wait, no, I'm gonna just finish my last couple sentences, or no, I'm gonna just finish until the end and I'll finish next week's homework too. You know, you can get really ambitious. Like, once you start, it'll make you want to basically just keep going. Like, you'll just get in the groove of it. And if you're doing an essay, my tip for writer's block and essays is basically to just start writing. Write anything, man. You don't even need to have like full ideas. You don't even need to have complete sentences. Just start writing. Just get your ideas out there, you know. Start answering the questions. Start looking up maybe good evidence to support your argument, you know, things like that. Just really write down whatever, because once you get past that hurdle of just starting the essay, you'll be able to revise it over and over and over and over and over again until you can turn it in. But at least when you start it, you know, okay, hey, I started this, I'm kind of getting somewhere, I'm kind of confused, I know what I need to add, things like that. So just write anything. That's the way I like to write essays. I literally just start off writing whatever, bullet points, topic, sentence, just answering the question, then I revise it until I'm ready to turn it in. So that's my tip on essays. Make sure you like what you're doing, okay? So don't just do it for money, because money, I mean, if you're a very disciplined person and you love money and you're doing really good in your major because it's money motivated, that's a good reason, you know, that's fine. But when you're struggling and you don't want to friggin' study and you're feeling depressed about school, money being a motivation is not enough. I feel like. So for example, basically, I was a STEM major before and I really wanted to do STEM, but it didn't work out and it just was not for me. I wish I could have done it, but unfortunately my high school was really bad, and I didn't really have that many like AP classes and things like that. So when it came down to doing STEM, I hated it. I wasn't good at it. I got so much help and it just wasn't for me. I changed my major. Now I'm a media studies major and I'm literally getting amazing grades. Before I was getting like really bad grades in STEM. Now I'm getting really good grades in media studies because it's something I like to do. It's something I'm actually interested in. So like, I'm more motivated to do my homework. I'm more motivated to actually shoot for A's, not just C's, or not just trying to pass. I'm actually trying to shoot for good grades because this is something I'm good at. This is something that I like. So just try to shoot for something that you're good at and something that you're really genuinely interested in, because I promise you, if you're just doing it for the money and there's no other reason, you won't be that happy and you will not be motivated, because money motivation for school is not the best motivation for everybody. Obviously, if it works for you, that's fine, but it's not for everybody, and you may be one of those people. So try to just do what makes you happy, what you really find interesting, something that you really like. Also, just believe in yourself, okay? You got this. You went to school for a reason. Don't give up. Don't make yourself feel less than. Believe that you can do it, okay? School's tough, but you know what? School makes for educated people, and I really believe in education, so I recommend that you stick to it and just believe that you're a smart person and that you're, like I said, you're there for a reason. You want to be educated. You know, the mind is very powerful. If you keep telling yourself, I'm gonna fail, I'm not gonna do good, you really might not do good and you really will fail. Or you could be like, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna pass, I really need to pass, I want to get a good grade, I'm gonna get a good grade. And then now you're promoting positivity, you're calling in, you're manifesting that. Hey, also study abroad. Obviously right now in the pandemic we can't study abroad, but if you are, obviously have 4 years ahead of you or a year ahead of you, or who knows what it's gonna look like. But anyway, studying abroad, they have GPA requirements. Basically what you want to do is you want to give yourself a goal. So your study abroads usually have like a minimum GPA requirement, like a 2.5 or 3.0, 3.5. Wherever you want to go, pick that place and shoot for that GPA, because obviously it'll give you motivation to want to study there. It'll make you want to study because you want to go there, you want to study there. That's all my tips that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and hit the subscribe button, and also comment down below if you liked any of these tips, or just tell me what year you're in and what school you go to. But yeah, I'm sending lots of love and positivity for this semester. I'm manifesting a lot of A's for us this semester. We're gonna kill it even with pandemic. We got this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one. See you next time. Bye.